specialized hospital. Thank you for joining us, Abraha.
You're welcome.
So you are one of the protesters on Saturday calling for the international community to act. What led you to organize and participate in this protest?
I think the Meghalaya University community is one of the keen observants of the atrocities that are occurring here, and also the harms that are now again surfacing. So the international community shall see these problems and then complete siege from every resources in a timely manner. In fact, it's late, but again, this is again shall not be too late to the others. So it is to make the problems be responded to survive the suffering children, mothers, and the general community.
What are the most important points raised during the demonstration?
Issues related to the malnutrition in children, compromising mothers, the economic jeopardies overall all Tigrayans are facing now have been among the issues, and particularly the UN and the international community have been addressed to be responsive to the problems being faced.
You're a pediatrician at Abraha Hospital, currently treating children suffering from malnutrition. What has that experience been like, and how many children are you treating, and what condition are they in at the moment?
At this very moment, we today, for example, are treating 29 children with severe acute malnutrition that have been complicated. The non-complicated are basically to be sent to the community hospitals and health centers. So this is a number we have never faced since establishment of IDER. And we have also faced deaths in the last 3 months. And throughout the decade, we have never reported 4 deaths in a month. So this is the quarter where 3 form deaths in a month has been reported. And the background, again, the care providers of these children also have lost the hope. They have nothing to feed going back home also. So this makes the current problem very unique, and the average admissions per month also has tripled since the average over the last 5 years this time. So everything has increased with coming to the counts or to the data. So it has been very painful to witness this.
Mekelle University staff, including your colleagues at Abraha Hospital, have not received their salaries since June. Your salary was discontinued despite the fact that you're federal employees, and your hospital is running out of medical supplies. How have you been coping?
I think you raised these are the problems we are facing every day, and I think let me prioritize my clients, the patients in IDER, including children on whom I work most of my time. We have now started to use expired date medicines because we are not bringing new. So we have epilepsy children who are receiving drugs that have expired 2 months ago. With intense discussion, professional discussion in the hospital to sustain life and reduce morbidity, thinking that this siege will alleviate in a short period. And with shortage of medicines, we have the first generation. Generally, we have the first generation medications for a hospital base. Then we cannot ascend to second generation medications, but we are working in a referral hospital, so we come shortage of that. There were patients also dying of chronic medical illnesses, missing procedures, missing medications in all of the specialties in the hospital as a member of the faculty in the hospital. But particularly in children, again, we have run out of chemotherapeutics for blood cancers and other forms of malignancies in children, for example. So the problem goes widespread amongst our patients. The hospital staff now transportation facilities are almost stopped, and I am again a mentor of postgraduate trainees. We are running it because the postgraduate trainees in the College of Medicine runs also hostel, so we don't stop it, and then we are running it. So probably one of the stories that may shock the world is even physicians under training, working longer hours, are fainting in the procedures after working for a couple of hours. They don't have adequate energy to finish the longer procedures or the emergency procedures on a number of patients sequentially. So this has never been our story. Despite economic limitations as a developing country. But this is what is going on. We have staff who have children with severe acute malnutrition. So what else can depict this? So the staff have manifested this manner. So I think the current siege, the current seriousness of the harm against we Tagaru in Tigray is a severe form of one. I have never thought of the world would deafen to such or give elephant ear to such compromise in this century.
So Tigrayans around the world have been protesting and voicing their concerns over the past 10 months. Some may say these cries have fallen on deaf ears. What do you say to the world that hasn't already been said?
To begin with, I would like to thank all Tagaru that have voiced for us here, and they have also immensely contributed for the hospitals to run, for each of us to function in this difficult time. They have supported us immensely throughout all the war period. So I would like to thank them first. Thank you so much. I think this tough time will pass and it will be narrated. And this will be a story of the surviving Tagaru. And then going back to the community, the international community, including the Secretary General of the UN, I would say the international community is so delaying and then seeing us passively dying. I know the stories related to, for example, Rwanda, and then Kofi Annan, after went off the office, he regretted he would have stopped the war. The world had the capacity to stop the war, and then the world witnessed a genocide. And the current disaster we are facing, I think Antonio Guterres will regret it as he leaves the office, unless he brings, and with his colleagues, brings tangible changes. And the international community, I feel, would be regretting this when the time passes. That's, I think, what I can say in this regard.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Abraha, for joining us. And